I took only one idea on USDJPY, and it made me about 10 times of what I'm risking, and that is even more than some traders make using 10 signals. Now in this video I want to break down exactly how I was able to take this trade so that you can learn from it. Welcome back to the channel. It's Jeff from Team Jeff FX Academy, and today I'm breaking down the exact process behind this USDJPY profit you are seeing on my screen, from the setup to the entries to the psychology behind why the trade worked and how I was able to scale in on the trade properly. As you can see on my screen, the first trade here, the first entry here, I'm having about $73 in profit, $49 on the second, and the last one is about $102. And it will interest you to also know that the total risk I was taking on this trade was just $20. So how was I even able to, scale in this much, and what did I even see in the market? Now let me just take you straight to my trading view chart. As you can see here, this is my trading view chart. And how was I able to mark out this analysis? Well, let me delete this projection. Then the first thing I did was I spotted out my trade on the 4 hours time frame, and I was able to see that okay, USDJPY is currently on a sell, right? It's currently on a sell. So what I'm now waiting for is a pullback, and I look for where to continue in on the trend. So as I thought, when I was checking the trade, the market was around this area. The market was around, okay, let me use this. The market was, around this area. So it was left for me to wait for a breakout around this area. Then I'm waiting for a retest back to this trend line. Then I'll look for a sell. That is what I'm looking for on my 4 hours time frame. So then the next thing I did was to reduce my time frame to 1 hour to still look if what I'm expecting to see there is still the same. Now something happened during that period. As soon as the market came to touch this trend line around this area, on my 15 minutes time frame, that's where I get my entry. On my 15 minutes time frame, I was able to see a signal here. Normally those who trade with me already know that I use a chart pattern to mark out my signal, so I've explained that before. For example, if the market is moving this way, it breaks this place, comes down like this, then it goes this way. Okay, let me shift that up to a clean chart so that you can see clearly what I'm saying. When market is in my zone, I wait for something like this kind of pattern. Now if you look at this pattern, you can see we have lower highs and lower lows. That's for a sell. Now this point here, that is where I normally use as my entry. This point here, that's where I normally use as my entry. Why I will use this previous high here, this one here, as my stop loss. So that's what I normally look out for on my zones. So if you look closely, you will see that we had something like that around this area. We had something like that on a 15 minutes time frame. So if you check in on the line chart, you will see something like that. And that was why I told my students to enter one position around this area where my stop loss was on the high, which was around here. So it wasn't long. As soon as the market came in around here on little profits, okay, before even started giving us profit, we were stopped out around this area. So what we were risking on that trade was about, I think, 15 to 13 pips. So we lost that trade, and because it was not going in my direction, I didn't scale it, so I lost that trade on that one. Nevertheless, the market was still in my zone, so what I kept looking for is another opportunity to enter the trade. Then I saw something like that again around this area. After that fake out, I saw something like that. Okay, let me delete this so that you can see clearly. If you look closely, you see something like that around this area. If I change it to line chart, you are going to see it clearly. Do you see that? Exactly. And that was where we now got another entry. It's looking more like an M pattern. That's just what I normally look out for on my trades. Some people will say they are looking for this, they are using one indicator. All those ones are just long journey. The main reason why we are all trading this forex is because we want to make money out of the market. So if something simple is giving me money, there's no reason for me to make it even more complicated. So once I saw this M pattern, the next thing I did was to bring out my measuring tools to get my entry price, which was at the neck of that M. Then my stop loss as usual will be around this area. So when I checked it, the original stop loss is supposed to be 17 pips. So for the market to just breathe, I just increased it to about 20 pips. So that was how I got my first entry. And immediately I got that first entry. That was on the 1st of December, if I'm not mistaken. Was it on the 1st? Okay, it was on the 2nd. So this was the one we hit. Where is it? Okay. Yeah, this was the one we, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, on the 1st, I was actually looking for a buy. Initially, I was actually looking for a buy. That was later when I now saw that there was a breakout on this trend line. You see, there was a breakout on this trend line. So I told them that my bias has changed and I'm looking for a sell now. So this was where we got the first entry, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, and after we got it, the market hit us at stop loss, and that was when I now dropped the second one. As you can see here, I told them first trade hit stop loss, but I'm going to re-enter with a limit order at this level because rejection keep forming at that zone, and that's exactly what I was seeing at that zone. Rejection just keep forming on 1 hour time frame, 15 minutes time frame. So I was confident I still going to sell, and before you know it, the market picked us and we now started riding it. So back to our 4-hour time frame, that's where I normally look for how I'm going to take my profit. Okay, so if you are looking at it on a 1 hour time frame, if the market is to reject from this area here, which we got our entry from, then it is ideal for us to expect the market to get back to this low, if it's going to continue the downtrend. And that is why I'm looking for taking profit around that area. So if I change this bar chart now to line chart, you will see that this is the neck here. Sorry, I just scattered it. You will see that this is the neck here, this around this area. Did you see it? So now changing it back to the bar chart. Now you see that our take profit is 106 pips, while our stop loss is 20. If you check that risk to reward ratio, that's about ×5 of what we are risking, which is still valuable. But I still need to learn how to scale in. I still need to look for opportunities to scale in so that I can get even more than that 5x on that trade. So back to my 15 minutes. Remember the 4-hour time frame, I use it to just get the market bias. Then I also use it to look for where I'm going to be taking my first TP or my total TP, depending on how much profit I'm making on that trade. Then I go back to 15 minutes time frame. Remember, we've already gotten in on one position. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be using the black line as my entry price, while I'm going to be using a red line indicating where I told them to shift their stop loss. So let's go. Now the initial stop loss was around here and my original entry price was around here. Then the market started moving. The moment it break below this point, I told them to shift their original stop loss to this point here, to the next low, to the next high rather, to the next high. So immediately they shifted their stop loss there, you will notice that their risks will reduce. So as soon as their risks reduce, they now have more room to open another trade. That is for one. Now the market kept going. If you look at it, the market was not going in a straight line. No. The market was not actually going in a straight line. It kept giving, that staircase move. Then it continued like that to that point. And as soon as it break below this point again, I told them to reduce their stop loss this time around to the entry of the first price. And at that point, they had the opportunity to open another trade. Remember, they opened one here, they opened one around this side, and now they've opened the third one around this point. So meaning we now have third three position, and that was exactly how I was following it up for them on the group. As you can see, I told them here my stop loss is now reduced to 11 pips, so they are supposed to know, okay, we are going to open more positions here, which is to calculate that we are still risking just that 20. Then it got to a point, that point I was telling you that, okay, now you set break even on that first trade. Now the risk for the first trade and the second trade has reduced, so what they now do is what, they add more position again, making the third one, if I'm not mistaken. Then for the last one, I now told them secure your positions now to stop loss at this point. So at this point now, the first and second trade is secured. It's only the third trade we are even risking just small. In fact, the first trade where the stop loss is still on profit. The second one to where the stop loss is about break even. Then the third trade is the only one we are risking just very few. Some people might have said, okay, let us open more position there, but I know that mostly when we take trades like this, there will always be a point where the market will give us a massive retracement. So if your stop loss or you have another entry at that point, you are going to be selling at a very, risky point. So it is just ideal that after three positions, I just decided not to take any other trade and I left them. Let us just keep riding it. And how did the market behave? Well, there was a point that the market actually gave us massive profit. Imagine you have three positions already open on this trade and the market has gone down to this level here. This level you're seeing around this point. I want to remove this thing so that I can see my chart clearly. Beautiful. Now the market got to this point, and if I am to measure it, that point was about 70 pips on profit. So someone would have said, let me take profit here, but I did not take profit. In fact, on the group I kept showing them how the trade was. Remember, we've already hit stop loss, and on that particular account I was trading, I was looking $20. So imagine I'm already on loss of about $20, and presently now I'm seeing a profit of 73. It is that even if I close at this point, I would have said yes, that's still fine. That's almost times 5 of what I'm risking, so I'll still end up in profit. But because I know that my trading plan is telling me that I am still expecting to see profit down, remembering how I was able to mark out my take profit zone for 4 hours. So I just kept my mind in the game and just stick to my trading plan. So at that point, the market retraced back to this point here, and it actually reduced my profit. Remember, I had an entry here, so it almost gave that entry even loss. But since my stop loss was now around here, I was not scared because I know it's not going to get to that point. It came down again to this point. And at that point it was actually giving us another tangible profit. Like, let me show you what I was now seeing then. Beautiful. You can see now I'm seeing about times, I think this time 6 now of what I'm risking, and it's in good profit. But I did not still take my profit because my trading plan is still telling me that this trade, the setup is still very fine. The market also went back up again. This is now the major retracement I was telling you about. If anyone had added position around this point and maybe shift your stop loss to this point, you would have gotten knocked out around this area. So 3 position is just good for scaling in, except maybe the market has now gone even far, or maybe you are using a bigger time frame like a daily time frame or weekly time frame. But for me, that I'm using just 4 hours time frame, 3 position is okay for this kind of pair. So when the market gave us this major retracement, imagine you're already on profit of about 123 pips. Remember, you are risking $20. Now you are on profit of $120. And now the market reduced back and started giving you a profit of maybe $60. It is natural for you to panic, but I did not, because this is something that I've been doing for a long time, and I normally journal my trade. So according to what I'm seeing on my journal, in fact, most of the mistake I've made is the journal is always telling me to wait for my TP levels. Always wait for your TP levels. So since my journal keeps telling me that, I just have to wait. Moreover, what do I have to lose here? My trade is already on break even, so I'm not going to lose anything. So the market played around here a little, and before you know it, it started tanking down. And before you know it, it got to my first TP levels. So it was around that point now that I was now seeing tangible profits. Before I even got there, it gave me this, and I was kind of tempted to take out my profit, but I said no, let me stick to that plan. And eventually I was able to end in about times 11 of what I'm trading. So the reason why I'm calling it times 10 is because this particular account is a profit account. Yeah, it's a profit account. So the I opened the trade since on the second, right? And I was able to close the trade today, which is on the 4th of December 2025. So they removed swap fee of about $15, then commission of about almost $2. So total that they removed was close to 20 something dollars. So I ended up in profit balance of 205. So if you minus that from the loss I had yesterday, I'm sorry, the previous trade. Remember I told you I'm risking only $20. And because the trade did not give me profit, it was not going in my direction. It was only one trade, one position I opened. So I lost about $20 on the first trade. Then this one, I opened the first one because it was going in my direction. I opened the second one because it was going in my direction. I opened the third one, and total, if you do the plus and minus, I ended up in profit of about okay, they are showing me 206, but if you remove the swap and the commission, blah blah blah, the profit balance is about $187. So this is basically how I was able to take this trade. It's nothing serious. It's not really that hard. The reason why I was able to wait for this trade was because the market structure was still in line with my analysis. Yes, I saw the retest, I saw the rejection candle, and the bearish momentum was confirmed, and I just kept waiting. Once I had a clean break below structure and a retest and rejection, that was my signal. So I just keep waiting. I did not chase the vibe. I was not emotional about the trade. No, I was just sticking to my trading plan. You see, sticking to your trading plan is just like trying your best to treat your wife well. Let me use a family now as an example for this trade. You know, when you treat your wife well, there are other benefits that you are going to get. Or let me use this example. Let's say you want to get married because you need a companion. Yes, you got married because you need a companion. In the process, you are going to make love with your wife, and there is a blessing that is also going to come along with it, which is childbearing. Most times you also give birth, and that's just childbearing. So in trading too, if you stick to the trading plan, profit is just like that childbearing. Profit is just like an additional blessing to it. So there's possibility, like the first trade I took now, it hit stop loss. So there's possibility that you followed your plan, but you still hit stop loss. Yes, there are people who get married and they do not still give birth. It's just the same thing. So, but you will know that at least you tried, you followed your plan. So majority of the time I followed my plan, I always end up in profit. So imagine I took out profit around this area because of emotion. Yes, I would have still ended up in profit, but not as much as me sticking to um my plan. So I still kept my risks light as I was scaling in. The total risk on the setup was controlled, meaning that even if it failed, the loss would still have been small. It would still have been that $20, nothing much. So the consistency comes from confidence in my risks, not confidence in the market. Yes, you can't be confident of the market. It's not your dad that owns the market. You cannot be sure that the market will go in your direction. You can only be sure of what you are going to risk. Yes, on this trade I was sure that okay, what I'm risking is $20, and I was very 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 certain of that. No matter what happened, I was very certain that it's just $20. So even if the market retraces against me, well, I don't care about it. So what helped me on this trade again was patience. Most traders close early because they are scared of losing floating profits. Yes, you are risking $20, and you're already seeing about $93 in profit, even though it is not yet your time to take profit. It's not yet at your profit zone. Fear of losing this floating profit might make you close in time. Imagine, I saw even 123, I saw even 145, but I did not close at all those ones. I waited carefully for 225, and that was exactly when I took my profit. So a quick lesson for you is that you want to trade what you understand. Yes, you want to wait for a clean setup. Don't trade what you don't understand. Wait for clean setup in the market before you take the trade. And always remember that one high quality trade a week is better than 20 emotional trades. Yes, it's far better. It's not just about taking trades every day, every day, every day. One good trade can make it all up for you. So if you like this breakdown that I explained in this video now, you can request to join my community or follow for more real life setup explained step by step. The point is, in my Forex Academy, you will have the opportunity to trade with me live, take the exact trade that I'm taking, and make the exact similar profit that I make if we are using similar accounts. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, give me a like, and comment a new suggestion or a video that you think, okay, if Jefta talk about this, I'll be able to learn something. Just give me the suggestion in my comment section, and also watch other YouTube videos in this channel so that you can learn more, because your suggestion might be something I've discussed previously. I'm also going to keep dropping educational content like this for you, so make sure that you are subscribed and hit the bell button so that as soon as I drop new videos, you get new notification. See you in the next video.